Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein here with another one of my quick hits. And on this one, we're going to take a look at the Floyd Mayweather-Andre Berto match on September 12th, one that I will be calling on Showtime pay-per-view. It is a match that includes a very, very good undercard. We've already done a quick hits on the Orlando Salido Martinez fight, Roman Martinez, but the Mayweather-Berto fight, clearly the main event this evening. It is Floyd Mayweather's attempt to win his 49th straight fight. He says it will be his last fight in the sport of boxing. That remains to be seen, but that is what he's suggesting. So it may be the last time that Floyd Mayweather is in the ring against anyone. And in theory, might be the last time people can actually see him box. In any case, he will take on Andre Berto to try and move his record to 49-0, which would be, of course, tying Rocky Marciano in terms of the longest win streak that someone would retire from on that level of boxing. Now, let's talk about Andre Berto for a moment as the opponent that Floyd Mayweather has chosen, and he chooses his opponents because he drives the commerce of fights. Berto had a win in his last fight that was vital for him because he's had a stretch of fights in which there were a couple of losses, one against Ortiz, another against Jesus Soto Caras in a wild affair. And meanwhile, he's put together several wins, but the one that mattered the most for him was the win he got against Josecito Lopez. He was able to ultimately land a big right hand to knock Lopez down in that fight, then would knock him down again, and the referee stopped the action. Now, that was after Lopez had actually done a very good job of boxing him earlier in the fight. Andre Berto is known as a battler. He's a fighter who will engage, certainly, in as much action as he can, and he'll need to do that if he's going to corner Floyd Mayweather and create enough opportunities for himself to punch. There was a time, of course, when Berto was welterweight champion, when a match with Floyd Mayweather looked very imminent, but that was derailed by a couple of different things: an injury, a situation where he was charged with using performance-enhancing drugs, then a couple of those losses that I mentioned. And so now here we are several years later, and Andre Berto does get his opportunity to face Mayweather. Now, as for Mayweather, he comes in off what was a signature win for him against Manny Pacquiao in a mega fight that created over 4 million pay-per-view buys and brought all attention to the boxing world. Mayweather still, in his late 30s, still has clearly a skill set and an ability that is extraordinary. And even though he will be the older man in this fight by a number of years, still, you have to look at Floyd Mayweather. And of course, he is a prohibitive favorite in this fight. And the burden of proof in this fight is definitely on Andre Berto to show that he belongs in that ring. Let's take a look at the keys to victory, or excuse me, let's take a look at our tail of the tape, and we'll take a look at how these fighters match up in terms of some of their different attributes. For Floyd Mayweather, I mentioned he's 38 years old. Andre Berto is 31. So Berto with the edge in terms of the age. Physically, Mayweather will have the height and reach advantage in this fight, and that's very important because he's going to want to use his movement, use his jab, land a straight right hand, and keep Andre Berto on the end of his punches. And it is going to be important for Berto to try and get on the inside against him. Well, that brings us to the keys to victory. And so let's take a look at the keys to victory in this match, and let's take a look, if we can, at Andre Berto's keys to victory. What does he need to do to be effective in this fight? Well, first of all, he's got to use the jab. That is a punch that is often underused by him. But if you're going to face Mayweather, Marcos Maidana showed that in his first fight with Mayweather. You've got to commit to the jab. And then when I say don't pose, Berto has a habit of just stalling and having lull periods in fights. If he does that, Mayweather will pick him apart, move a little bit, pick him apart, move a little bit, and it won't go well for him. His biggest chance in this fight comes with the overhand right. That is a punch they landed against Lopez. We've seen it land in other fights. And it is, in fact, the one punch that I think from time to time gets in against Mayweather. Now, a good left hook artist can also land a left hook when he's on the inside, but for the most part in recent fights, with Maidana and others, we've seen the right hand get in from time to time, though not much gets in against Floyd Mayweather. As for Mayweather's keys to victory, well, for him, the jab is also very important. He uses it not just to land and to score, but as a range finder for his right hand and to just control the geography of fights. Lateral movement's always a big part of his repertoire, and we expect to see him use it during this fight. And the right hand he has one of the most accurate right hands I have ever seen in all my years of announcing boxing. It's a very, very accurate punch. He uses it in a variety of ways. Sometimes he'll feint with the left and throw the right hand behind it. Sometimes he will use the jab and throw it immediately after a jab with the conviction. He throws it as a lead right hand often. And so that right hand is a very, very important weapon for Floyd Mayweather. So we have the keys to victory. We know what these two fighters need to do. Now, the wild card in all this may be the fact that Floyd Mayweather is claiming, leading up to this fight, that he is going to be more aggressive, that he thinks he can score a knockout in this fight, that he would like to put an exclamation mark on his career, because he's telling us this is his last fight, by scoring a rare knockout. Very rare for Mayweather these days to get a stoppage. And that could slightly alter his game plan. But even if he is going to go for that knockout, I think he'll do it within the confines of what is the normal Mayweather style. And the only time he'll do that is if he sees a unique opportunity that he can take advantage of and go after Andre Berto. This is a fight, I mentioned the undercard, Badu Jack and George Groves for the 168-pound title, as well as the Salido Martinez fight. So there's a really good undercard leading up to this. It should be a very entertaining evening of boxing. And, of course, in the Mayweather-Berto fight, as I said earlier, the burden of proof is on Andre Berto. For this to be an entertaining fight and for it to be a fight that matters, the burden is on Andre Berto to show that he can, in fact, make that happen. We'll see on September 12th whether, in fact, he does. I hope you'll join us on Showtime pay-per-view. I'll be on the call along with my cohorts, Mauro Ronaldo and Paulie Malignaggi, and the rest of our broadcast crew, Jim Gray, Brian Custer, and all the rest, as we bring you this fight on September 12th. We'll see you next time on another Quick Hits.